Hi, my name is Dinas Setiawan. Here in the studio we have our distinguished guest Ludovic Grosjean. It's our pleasure to welcome you here in PSB Academy.
Good morning, Daniel. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. So, Ludovic is the chair for the IET Victoria Young Professional Section. He is also a board member of the Australian Autonomous Unmanned System Association, and he's a chartered engineer by training. So now let's get to the main section of our session. Could you share with us your professional career as well as your aspiration?
Yes, definitely, Daniel. Well, it all started as a scuba diver, but my passion led me to engineering and to the ocean. I even work as a manager, so I worn many hats in my career. Eventually, what I did find is I could mix my passion for engineering with the passion for the ocean. And when you mix the two, you get what I'm currently doing, which is designing solutions to help and monitor the environment, and more specifically the ocean, in order to save and protect our planet.
Okay, I see. Okay. So, OceanX is an organization with a mission to explore the ocean and share important information about the ocean itself. Could you share with us the main problems of exploring the ocean?
Well, much more important than exploring, our goal is really to design solutions in order to monitor the environment.
I see.
So our challenges are very big. Not only we are working in a very complex and harsh situation, there is very difficult conditions such as humidity. We are working underwater with systems which needs to handle pressure or even saltiness, so corrosion. So all these challenges are environmental challenges, but we also have technological challenges, which is communication underwater, but as well as power and data processing. So altogether, this makes a very difficult environment to work in, and we like to compare it to space because it's an industry where we are indeed exploring the unknown, and the ocean is still one of the most unexplored part of our planet.
Yeah, okay. What do you think about the current rate of pollution around us?
Well, every year 8.8 million tons of plastic ends up in our oceans, and if you count what it represents, by 2040 you would have enough plastic to cover our entire oceans of the planet, if you were putting all the plastic on a layer.
Oh yeah, that's a lot.
So that's massive. But more than this, if you consider that 90% of the pollution only comes from 10 rivers, just 10 rivers, only 10 rivers around the world. And we could stop 90% of the pollution if we were focusing on these 10 rivers. So that's massive. By 2050, you would also have more plastic in our oceans than fish.
Okay.
So this is a global challenge, and humanity needs to face it, and we need to develop solutions to avoid contaminating our oceans with plastic, but with also many other pollutants. There is not just plastic.
I see, okay. And what are the proposed measures to educate the world on keeping the ocean clean? Understand that it might affect the marine life.
Well, what we need to do is eventually to stop the pollution at its source.
Yes.
So if a lot of people are actually designing solutions to take the plastic in the middle of the ocean, but on the first place, what we need to focus is why is it coming there, and what can we do to prevent it to arrive there. So our innovation is to handle the social and the cultural. We need to teach people how to prevent pollution to arrive on the first place. But more than teaching people to make the good gesture for our planet, most of the time it comes with a problem in the design. So when we engineer products, we might want to reconsider the life cycle of the product itself. We also need to find disposal solutions to be able to use this product afterwards for other usage. And we also need to engineer solutions to collect it efficiently.
Oh, okay.
And most of the time people want to do the good thing.
Yes.
And we always think it's a teaching issue. Yes, there is sometimes a teaching issue, but most of the time it comes from engineering a smart product on the first place.
Ah, I see. Okay. And would you like to share your vision on the future of ocean observing system?
Definitely. Well, my vision is the future is working, humans can work with computers.
Okay.
So if we can work together, we can solve the solution to this biggest threat to our planet. Why? Because computers are very good at doing something, which is looking and searching, detecting issues. Human eyes will get tired, but the computer doesn't need to rest. The computer can keep performing, keep detecting pollution. On the other hand, humans are very good at making decisions.
Okay.
They're also very good at engineering and crafting new solutions. So once you put this together, the computer and humans, you have the best of both worlds. You can actually engineer a better future for our planet, and you have the ability to solve biggest issues.
Okay. Really insightful indeed. How can individuals like us contribute in making that happen?
Well, I believe everyone can and should contribute in 3 different ways.
Okay.
One, I think everyone can do his own part. And by playing your own part, I mean there is no small action when you are 7 billions to do it. The second thing is everyone can and should start imagining new solutions for our future.
Okay.
There is no limits to imagining,
Yes.
whether you're an artist, an engineer,
Yes.
or someone with bigger ideas. And then lastly, I believe that if each one of us, we all have a smartphone here,
Yes, of course.
if each one of us could take a picture of pollution
Yeah.
and tag it, we could build together the biggest database of plastic pollution or of pollution in the world. That means that we would have enough data to back us up to automate pollution detection.
Okay. And recently you won the United Nations Rotary Young Innovator Award. Would you like to share on your journey towards this prestigious achievement?
Definitely. Well, the Rotary UN Young Innovators Award, it's a lifetime opportunity.
Yeah.
You see, Rotary is one of the biggest humanitarian organization of the planet. It's very dedicated, and in fact, Rotary has done tremendous work in order to eradicate polio, and we are very close to eradicate this terrible disease from the surface of the planet.
Okay.
So why can we do that? Well, because we have 1.2 million people backing us up in all the countries, everywhere all around the world on the field, working together towards one goal. So the power of Rotary is the ability to put together leaders and solve bigger problems. Rotary let young people imagining new solutions for the future, and there is no limit to imagination.
Yes.
It might sound crazy, but you should not stop dreaming. You need to dream bigger, and that's what Rotary help us to do by putting young leaders at the United Nations, talking to UN officials, philanthropists, or other Rotary members. We all put together and put forward young professionals who are not scared of imagining the future and imagining the impossible.
Okay, I see. And we aspire to hear your journey with the IET as a volunteer. Can you share with us a bit more from where you started to where you are now, leading the Victoria Young Professional Section as chair?
Definitely. Well, what I'd like to do is to share a couple of small stories because I think it would be a better explanation for your members of what they can get from joining the IET. So the IET gave me an incredible opportunity. The IET gave me the opportunity to fail. Why? Because you can make mistakes. And having the ability to make mistakes without being scared of doing these mistakes in an early on career gives you the opportunity to move on quickly. Last year, around this time, I was one of the presenters for the presentation around the world, PATW, and I failed miserably. But you see, this same presentation I've kept practicing over and over again since. I took the feedback from the jury, which was very valuable. And it took me 1 year, but without giving up, I took this talk and I took the concept and I moved forward on it. And 1 year later, I got awarded at the United Nations for the same project which I originally presented with the IET. So you see, the IET will give you experience, and it's okay to fail. I didn't win PATW, but I moved on and I learned from my mistakes. So that's the first story I want to share. The second story is how I got involved with the IET in the first place. You see, it's funny, when you have opportunities, someone just invited me to present to young people about how to win a job. And at this How to Win a Job conference, I shared my insights about what it was to look for a job when you're young, when you're looking for opportunities. Well, I can tell you that I've learned so much from giving to people that I received as much as I gave, even maybe more. So I wanted to keep on. So I started to get involved with the IET. And as I was getting involved, I saw the incredible opportunities that there is with this organization. It's so fast-paced that you get to try different projects and you have so much fun that one project after the other, you can actually move on to bigger projects or bigger roles. And without knowing, you become the IET chair and co-chair in my instance, and you've done your entire year, you did amazing project, and you have an incredible new opportunity, which is to pass on the torch to the new generation. And once you reach that, you realize that you actually succeeded because the product survived, even when you're no longer there. So when they don't need you, you see that that's actually it worked.
What advice do you have for IET, PSB, Academy, and campus?
Well, my first advice is don't be afraid of taking risks. It's not because if it's the first time that you're doing something like presenting or doing something more challenging, it's okay to make mistakes because you will learn a lot. So don't be scared.
Lastly, all of us as the future engineers will be entering the workforce after university. Could you share your piece of advice to aid the students who are starting their professional careers?
Definitely. Well, if you're starting your career, you might want to consider work experience or internships or whatever you call it. Because the earliest you start, the better you get an understanding of what you want to achieve in your life. So I would say test, I would recommend young engineers to get involved with organizations, even if it's not paid, but they need to follow their dreams. If they want to do a specific career, they should not be limited to whether it's a paid opportunity or not. They should try it because they might get paid at some stage. They might be able to negotiate. So I would recommend them to try and to choose very well the first opportunities because they will be doing this for the rest of their not their life, because they would have different careers in a lifetime, but they would be doing for a long time. So it's better choosing the right opportunity straight away.
We need to seize the moment as quick as it appears.
Definitely. And another opportunity that I would give them is to choose a mentor. By having someone to speak to, someone more experienced, or even to share challenges, the mentor and the mentee will learn as much as each other from this experience. So having a long-term relationship with someone experienced is a great opportunity.
Okay, great. Thank you for joining us for this interview despite your tight schedule in Singapore. I'm confident that all IET members and young engineers will be inspired by yourself.
Thank you very much, Daniel. It was a pleasure to see you, and I'm looking forward to coming back in Singapore very soon.
Once again, on behalf of IET PSB Academy on campus, we thank you for joining us here in PSB. We wish you a pleasant trip.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Have a good day.